My Govanen Melonin, and well met indeed. I'm Arakea Galadirthan, and I'm coming to you today with something of a little bit of an addendum and an apology for the Elven archers, because yes, as many people have now pointed out in the comments, I've had a bit of a mare. And you'll note in the list, as posted yesterday, and it will be linked in the description or whatever, in case you're catching this one later, which you will be, because it's recorded afterwards, that the Galathrim March Wardens unit, I mentioned how their stats seem to place them very high up, and they should have even been second. But then when I did the unique test, they performed quite poorly, and so I was convinced they were, for some reason, they were being put too high. And of course, it is because the Galathrim March Wardens in the game is a mid-tier Lothlorien archer unit. However, the exact same name in the files is actually the Berio e Engelaith unit, who are indeed Lothlorien's uber elite archer. So with that in mind, the addendum is very much that the Elbereth archers and Hieri Beng are both popped down into honourable mentions, and of course the Berio e Engelaith jump right up to third. I do not believe they are better than the Elven King's Guard for the simple reason that they have one less ranged damage, and that alone separates the two. So the order that I stand by is the Noldorin Guard in number 1, the Elven King's Guard in number 2, the Berio e Ingelaith Protectors of the Forests in number 3, Eldarin Way Archers 4, and then Hinidawa in 5. I can take this opportunity, though, to address further people's dislike or disagreement with the Noldorin Guard being number 1. And I appreciate that their unit size should let them down an awful lot, and the amount of units that they actually killed in the test is quite low. And indeed, if a unit with 100 men has 32 arrows, that is 3,200 arrows. And if a unit with 30 arrows has 38 arrows, or 30 men has 38 arrows, sorry, that's considerably less, around 1,000. And so I can appreciate that as archers, they may not be considered the best as a standalone unit. But the two things that swayed me the most is that their actual archer stats are second to literally no one. And in the 1v1 tests, proportionally, they killed more of every single other archer. And that is what swayed me the most. So even though there's only 30 of them, and there are 87.5 Elven King's Guard, as I said in yesterday's episode, only 20% of the Noldorin were killed, and 35% of the, rounding there, but 35% of the Elven Kings were killed. And you just think, if the unit is so small, they're so outnumbered, they're taking that arrow fire, yet they're surviving and killing that many. I just really strongly felt they should be first. And so I stick by that. But so anyway, that's really all this was for. Just a little addendum to say I did absolutely pull a mare and just put entirely the wrong unit in the unique test, and that is why the unit was dropped down so much and performed so poorly. But I shan't make the same mistake with the non-Elven archers. I also wanted to take this opportunity, courtesy of Wolfson's comment. I do quite firmly agree that for the non-Elven archers, I will not take into consideration the morale or the melee attack of the archers for the stats. Those are just going to be stripped out and cut. Because, quite as I said myself, this is purely about how they act as archers. And so those two things should not have a consideration. But anyway, there we are. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed yesterday's video anyway. I apologise for the foolish mistake on my part. I don't know how I managed it. Well, I mean, I do. I was trusting the file and not stupidly not checking the name in the export units file. But there we are. And there we are. That's the end. So thank you very much for watching, and until we speak again, dear friends, Nevair Naden Perimad Melonin, and farewell.